Hey everybody, and welcome back to another fun-filled math lesson. This one dealing with fractions. So when we divide fractions in 7th grade, the only thing we're really having to change is that we're going to add the idea of the integer rules of division, and everything else stays the same. So the same way that you divided fractions in 6th grade, if you divided fractions in 5th grade, all of that stays the same. We're just going to add on the idea of negatives and positives and the same rules for dividing those. So we're going to start with an example. Always start with an example. So we have 1/2 divided by -3. And I'm going to put that -3 in parentheses so that the negative isn't touching the division sign. It's just to make it look nice. So if this is given to me as a problem, remember from 6th grade we did that keep, change, flip. We keep the first one, we change division to multiply, and we're going to flip the second number over and make it the reciprocal. So before I can flip a 3 over, there's nothing underneath the 3. So the first thing I want to do is make sure all my numbers, I have no mixed numbers. So if this was 1.5, I would want to make sure I fix that. We'll do one of those in a minute. So no mixed numbers and your whole numbers. I'm going to use the number sign. Whole numbers go over a 1. So this -3 is divided by 1, because -3 divided by 1 is still -3. So we're not changing how much it is, we're just changing what it looks like so that I can flip it over here in a second. Alright, so step 2, where we're going to keep, change, flip. So we're going to K, keep, C, change, flip. I write mine kind of weird, so we're going to keep 1/2 as 1/2. We're going to change divide to multiply, and we're going to flip -3 over 1 to be -1 over 3. So we flipped it over. K, C, F. Now it's a multiplication problem. And remember, back when we did multiplying, I do numerator times numerator. So 1 times -1, I'm going to put a note here, integer rules. Your integer rules apply here. Integer rules. So that if 1 times 1, this is how I like to remember it. 1 times 1 is 1. So 1 times, the opposite of 1 times 1 would be the opposite of 1. So then the opposite of 1 times the opposite of 1 would be 1 again. So 1 times 1 is 1, it's the opposite, and then the opposite of that. So 1 times -1 is -1. And then I'm going to also multiply the denominators. We do not have to have a common denominator when we divide. So step 4, we're going to do denominator times denominator. So 2 times 3 is 6. And anytime I'm dealing with fractions, I always want to make sure that I reduce or simplify my fractions at the end, make them nice and pretty. So I'm going to simplify, make proper, make them back into a mixed number. Can I do anything with 1 over 6 though? No. So it's just 1 over 6. Negative. 1 over 6, because a positive divided by a negative is a negative. All right, here is another example. If I have, scooch this down, negative 6.5, negative 6.1 divided by 3/4. Negative 6.5 divided by 3/4. What's my first step? No mixed numbers. So I need to change this to look like an improper fraction. So I do that by doing 2 times negative 6 plus 1. So that's 12 plus 1 is 13. So I've got 13 over 2. Is this one okay? Can I keep it? Yeah, I can keep 3/4. It's not a mixed number. It's not improper. It's good. It's a regular fraction. So I'm doing 13 over 2 divided by 3 over 4. All right, what is step 2? Keep it, change it, flip it. Scooch this down. So I'm going to keep 13 over 2. I'm going to change division to multiply. And I'm going to flip 3/4 to be 4 over 3. And now what do I do? Numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. So 13 times 4 is 52. And 2 times 3 is 6. I'll change colors. 6. Now, can I leave it 52 over 6? Definitely not. No, I want to change this to a mixed number. And before I go any further, I spy something I've forgotten. The negative sign. So this should be a negative. This should be a negative. I forget it a lot, so it's always important to like keep an eye on it, check on it appropriately, periodically go back and look. So if this is a negative times a positive, is this a negative or a positive? Negative. Now I'm going to make it a mixed number. To make it a mixed number and simplify it, I'm going to put 52 inside and 6 outside, because this is just another way to show division. So 6 goes into 52 8 times. That'd be 48. That's 4. All right, now my question is a fraction, so my answer needs to stay a fraction. I am not going to add a decimal and a 0. I'm going to take this remainder and I'm going to make it my numerator. And I'm going to take my denominator and keep it out here. Can I reduce 4 over 6? Yes, I can. I can divide both of these by 2. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. And 6 divided by 2 is 3. So my answer comes out to 8 and 2/3. Oh, is it positive or is it negative? 8 and 2/3, positive or negative? It's a negative because it was negative 52 over 6. So this is going to be a negative 8 and 2/3 because originally a negative divided by a positive is a negative. All right, last one for you guys to do on your own. Negative 5 divided by negative 1/3. Negative 5 divided by negative 1/3. So with this one, the whole number goes over a 1, like we talked about up top. We keep 5 over 1, change division to multiply, flip this to 3 over 1, and then we have negative 5 times negative 3. Negative times a negative is a positive. So that one's just 15. All right, we have reached the end of learning how to use rational numbers And now we get to start using them in all of our problems the rest of the year. So thanks for hanging in there. Y'all are doing a great job. I'm proud of you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Ring the bell to get notifications. And I will see you next time. Bye, guys.